Today is National Fast Food Day. So what better thing to make than super tacos? Okay, to start we'll get some ground beef and some taco mix. Oh, a jalapeno pepper. Those are always good. These are ones grown in our garden and they've been frozen, so they're not actually that spicy. So I'm just going to cut two of those up and make use of them as well because they're delicious. And I got to use them up somehow before they go bad. Moving forward, get our big pan on the stove, a high heat, add our meat to it, and then we can move on to doing the rest of our stuff while we wait for this to kind of heat up. Ingredients are easy enough. We need some cheddar cheese, some salsa, some sour cream, a small and a large tortilla. My small one is corn, my large one is wheat, and lettuce. Just got a couple of bowls here, and what I'm going to be doing is preparing the cheese and the lettuce. So to begin with, we'll work on the cheese, and I just have the box grater and the cheese, and it's just a matter of running the cheese through the box grater until the desired amount of cheese is acquired. Now it's probably about 1 cup or 2 cups if you want to make a couple of these things. Actually, it's probably not quite that much, a little bit less than that. But it's good to have a little bit extra because it's a pain to grate it after the fact if you need just a little bit more. But so as far as our lettuce goes, just gonna whack off the top of it, get myself a nice chunk of lettuce, and then I'm gonna slice it up. You can run the lettuce through the grater if you want, depending on your grater type or whatever, but it usually makes a giant mess and doesn't work very well, so I usually find that slicing the lettuce works a bit better. Just nice thin slices and lots of them, and it turns out pretty good. Okay, back to our beef. Just kind of breaking it up now. What we're doing right now is browning the beef, so it's a process of cooking the beef and keeping it moving and breaking it up so it's not in giant chunks. But let's add our jalapeno peppers. Might as well have them in right now and cook everything together. Just keep mixing stuff. Make sure nothing's sitting so long on the bottom that it's burning. And we'll just let it cook away. There we go. Now we're really making some progress. It's starting to all brown up and it doesn't clump up so much anymore. It's all individual grains. So now we're about ready to move on to the next step. So what we're going to do now is add the 1 cup of water and our taco seasoning mix. Now I'm just following the instructions on the package for the most part. I guess I didn't actually follow them. You're supposed to drain the meat and then do all this stuff, but I just add the water and the mix, and then I just drop the temperature down a little bit. There we go. And just kind of let it simmer away for a little while until it dries out and there's not so much juice in it. Okay, it's bubbling away, which is what we want. Just keep giving it the occasional stir, but you can usually let it sit for a few minutes and then come back and stir it, and eventually it kind of gets to the point that you want. This is super accelerated now and just letting it kind of cook away. We're almost there. And then once it's done, we're just going to take it off the stove so it doesn't keep cooking. We can get ready for the rest of this. Now we'll get the cast iron pan on the stove, turn up the heat a little bit, and get some oil on it. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to fry up the smaller tortillas just to give them a little bit more crisp. If you ever wanted to make corn tortilla chips, this is kind of the method that you do to make that. And it's pretty simple. You just put them on, you fry them for about a minute, minute and a half, depending on your temperature, I guess. And then flip them and do it again, and you usually have something pretty nice by the end of it. It went a little bit easy on the fry here on the first one, but the later ones I did, it was a lot darker. And once that's done, we can start assembly. Now for our assembly, we start with a plate and a tortilla. Add the beef to the center. There we go, looking good. Add our tortilla, Dump some salsa on it. Spoon on some sour cream. Add some cheese and some lettuce. And then you just kind of start folding from one side to the other and start rolling around the edge. And eventually you can make it look somewhat pretty, which is kind of what we're looking for. Then we'll go over to the pan, which is still warm from the tortilla, and then we'll cook it for about a minute or so. That'll get us some color on it. If you want to cook it more, like have the inside of it hotter, lower your temperature a bit, and then it will cook the outside slower and kind of warm it more through. But if you cook it at the temperature I have it on right here, it kind of sears the outside, holding the thing together, and then all your lettuce and stuff is still kind of a little bit chilly. So it's a lot of different ways you can kind of do it. So the cheese is starting to kind of melt, but it's not like completely hot all the way through, and so you have a bit of the hot and cold at the same time, and I really think that works out pretty good. So let's do another one, and this one we're going to do a little bit differently. So I'm going to put the salsa on, then the tortilla, then we'll do the sour cream on top of there, and then the lettuce, and then the cheese. That way the cheese is closest to the outside for cooking, and a little bit of Frank's to take it up a notch. And we'll put another tortilla on the top. Now that second one on the top makes it so that you don't have to be so precise with your folding to have it completely closed on the top. And that can work out pretty good. These things turned out great, were quite delicious, and I recommend making them. So let me know in the comments below if you've made tacos like this before. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And until next time, stay awesome.